All right, everybody. So I haven't done a video in a little while, but I got a good one for you guys. Store-bought germinated coconut update. So you guys know I'm a connoisseur at germinating coconuts that are store-bought. And I told you some of my secrets. I showed you in other videos. Take the coconut and I put it in a bucket. Well, here, we'll do a reminder here. We'll make this video worthwhile. Make it worth a little bit longer with your watch. So, plastic bucket. Aquarium heater, so it doesn't use any hydro, barely any hydro to keep this bucket warm. In the bucket is saran wrap baggie with a coconut, and it keeps it hot, like 93 degrees, and humid at all times. Awesome place to germinate a store-bought coconut. So this is what's coconut here. This one just started. So that's the beginning. And now let me show you here. Mind the birds as always. As always, got to put my drink down for this video. So here is a 1 month old, month and a half old store-bought coconut from Dominican Republic. As you can see, he's starting to go green. And oops, got to be careful. One thing you got to do with these guys, because they're not in the husk, you can break the coconut off the seedling really easy. They snap right off. So right here where I'm pointing at, that little brownish yellowy spot, that's the start of the first root. That's the start of the, we'll call it the first leaf, the cotyledon, whatever you guys call them. I'm not that much of a plant nerd when it comes to that stuff. But so this is a month and a half, 2 months. This guy I just planted. So he's in a decorative pot. And you see how he's on an angle? Well, that's because of how he was growing in the saran wrap bag. This is the way it wanted to grow. I had him pointed up, but he was growing a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to start him at this angle. And I'm hoping that it's going to slowly straighten himself back up. It just makes it easier for me to pot that way. So, as you can see, the coconut takes up 3/4 of the pot. And that's what I want. I don't want to have too much dirt. Right now, this coconut is growing very, very fast. The roots are growing fast. And what I want to do is I want this pot to be small. And I will repot it probably in about 3 or 4 months till the roots actually take up most of this pot. And that's the secret. These things do not like mucky soil. I've lost coconuts in the past to soil being too mucky. So lesson learned, smallest pot I can put this thing in is what it's in. There's probably an inch of dirt at the bottom. And this is cocoa coir, by the way, perlite. It's kind of funny burying a coconut in itself, but that's what's going on. A couple clay pebbles in there as well. So one thing you got to do, because the root is just bigger than this. It's about 1 inch long. So this may be a little early for me to plant this guy, but I ran out of saran wrap bags that could house him. So he was kind of poking out the end and I didn't want to do that. So hopefully this one will be okay. My palm room is 80 degrees and it's 67% humidity. So it's very favorable for the coconut to survive and lots of light. So the one thing you got to do is you got to keep the top right around here nice and moist, because the roots are at the top right now. They haven't grown to the bottom. So as we know, the pots dry out fastest at the top and make their way down. So I have to make sure that I every day just take a mister and just mist the top and just keep it moist, not wet, but moist. And that will help the root from drying out. Because in the Ziploc baggie, it's so humid inside, it's like 100% humidity almost. So the roots get all the moisture they need. But I decided to plant this guy early because I was sick and tired of looking at him every day in the bag. And he looks nice and green and beautiful. So I think, originally I thought this was going to be a maypan, but right now it looks all green. So I guess we will see. But typically the coconuts that come out of harvest from Dominican Republic are either a hybrid or like a Malayan dwarf or a maypan, something like that. So we will see how these guys look, if he gets the yellow or not. But a dwarf would be good because that way he won't grow too fast, too tall, and I can keep him longer. So I do have a coconut in the house, but it's not doing so well, and there's other reasons for that. And let me show you. The reason why he's not doing so well is not because of my conditions. My conditions are fine. Has his own light. The sun blasts through this window. Oops. There we go. The sun blasts through this window, gets it as well, has his own light. It said right now it's 79 degrees in here and 68% humidity. It's only gotten a little bit cooler in here because I've been opening and closing the door. The cold air from the basement rushes in this room, so that's why I have a towel on the bottom of the door. Towel on the bottom of the door, and I have sealant. I have weather sealant all the way around this door. basically seals this room in. So cold air cannot draft in and helps to keep the room more efficient. Hey, birds, quiet. So anyway, I planted this coconut in a pool filter sand. It was an experiment this spring. I wanted to see how well it did. The bottom stayed too mucky and I got root damage. So this coconut has been growing very, very slowly and doesn't look great. That's why. I normally do not kill coconuts, everybody. This was an experiment. I got the coconut cheap. I wanted to try it and didn't work out. So it's back in coco coir and perlite, a little bit of clay pebbles in the bottom, and I just fertilize this guy with a salt. And I know some people don't do it. I do it. I fertilize with water softener salt. I mix in a bucket of water and I water it like a seawater basically. And yeah, that's just one of my beliefs. So anyway, everybody, that's the update on my store-bought coconuts. I have one more in the bucket. It's growing. I'll do a video on that later on, but that's what I do for store-bought coconuts. And everybody says they'll never survive inside. It's got to be hot. It's got to be humid. Well, it's hot and humid in here. So you walk into this room, it's like walking into a rainforest. It can rain in here. But the humidity's high, but it's not high enough to put mold. It's just on the edge. And sometimes if I have to, I'll bring a dehumidifier in here just to dry things out a little bit. But all of these plants, they're breathing so much, especially these bananas, that the room just stays naturally humid. So anyway, all the palms in here grow very fast. So there's no issues with that. Anyway, everybody, hope you like the video. And if you're new, please subscribe. And let me know if there's any videos that you want me to make in the future. Anything with seedlings or germinating. Okay, everybody, have a good one.